Today we're looking at lesson 11.2, more on finding perimeter. I can measure the length of the sides of polygons using inch or centimeter units to find the perimeter of a polygon. I can add side lengths to find the perimeter. Okay, so a polygon is what did I tell you yesterday? Anybody remember? A simple closed figure. So I gave everyone here in class some tiles, and they made some different polygons. So I will attempt to make a shape here. Okay, so here's my figure. It says, how can you find the distance around? Well, we can do that in several ways, right? We can count each side. We can say that there is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. Or we could just keep counting. And if I know this is 4, then I know this is 4, right? And that this is 2. So I don't really need to count all the way around. And so it says, what strategy did you use? Well, I'm going to make an addition sentence. So 4 plus 2 plus 4 plus 2. So my strategy was, and it should be units. Okay? That I counted around the outside and then I added it together. Okay? Go on to the build your understanding. Did you all figure out what yours was?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. We're ready for the build your understanding. Eric is making labels for his science poster. He wants to glue a piece of yarn around the sides of each label. How can you find the length of the yarn in inches that Eric needs for each one? What could I use? What could we use? We used them yesterday. We could use a ruler to measure each side of the label. Then the perimeter is the length of the yarn needed to go around the label. So let's type that in. I'm going to type it in. You're going to write it in. So if you're at home, here's what that looks like typed up for you. I can use an inch ruler to measure each side of the label. The perimeter is the length of yarn needed to go around the label. Please write that. All right, so if we were to measure this with a ruler, this would be 3 inches. Write this on your paper. And this side would be 1 inch. So if the top is 3 inches, then the bottom is going to be 3 inches. And if one side is 1 inch, the other side is going to be 1 inch. So B says, what equation can you write to find the length of the yarn that Eric needs? How long is the piece of yarn? So we're going to make an addition sentence here. And if we start with the top measurement, what are we going to say? 3 plus 1 plus 3 plus 1 equals, what's 3 plus 1?
4.
We have that twice, so 4 plus 4 is 8. And what's our unit of measure going to be?
Units.
Inches. So we can just put IN period. Make sure you put a period. Okay, number 2 on page 308. Rhonda has an alligator sticker. How can Rhonda find the perimeter of her sticker in centimeters? If you had a centimeter ruler, we'll get some. Okay, we measured here in the classroom. Hudson, what did you get for the top measurement? 8. How many of you agreed with Hudson that the top is 8? Okay. So if the top is 8, since it's a rectangle, it has even sides, then the bottom's going to be 8. How many centimeters was the side of it? 2. Okay. So it says, how can Rhonda find the perimeter of her sticker? She can measure each side with a ruler, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What can we write for an equation?
8.
8 plus 2 plus 8 plus 2 equals 20. Okay, we could have done this though, right? We could have written a different equation, and then we would put cm for centimeters by that. We could have done a parenthesis, right? And we could have said 2 times 2, closed our parenthesis, plus 2, whoops, 2 times 8, close your parenthesis, equals, and it still would equal 20, right? Because 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 8 is 16. And together you could do that. So you can do it many different ways. Okay, turn to the step it out. Mrs. Lopez is making quilt pieces. She wants to sew ribbon around the sides of each piece of quilt. Ooh. Use centimeter ruler to measure the lengths of each side. Add the lengths of side together. So take your ruler and measure. Okay, so what did this measure right here? Home. It's not letting me mark on. No, this one. What did this measure? Did anybody measure this? Look at where I am pointing, boys and girls. What is it? Huh? No, just this one right here. What is it? 5. Okay, so that means the bottom is 5. What is one of these? 3s. Does everybody agree? So that means all these are 3 because these sides are equal or congruent. Okay, so it says add the length of the sides. So we have 4 3s and 2 5s. Can you write an equation? 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. Whoops. 3. Let me move this down. Plus 5 plus 5 equals. What does it equal? What's 4 3s is? 12 plus 10? 22 centimeters. Okay. What is the length of the ribbon she needs for each quilt piece? Centimeters. Says turn and talk. How does knowing the length of each side help you find the perimeter? Because we can do what with our sides? Add them up. Okay. Now, using your little centimeter ruler or inch. Now look, number 1 is inch. Number 2 is centimeters. I want to see the measurements in here, and I want to see an equation for each one, and I need it to have a measure, to have a label. Okay? Please do the check your understanding, then come back to the video and check your answers. Okay, here are the answers to your check your understanding. Please go on to your homework. If you need more practice, you can do the on your own on the back of this sheet.